guys, I'm Steph and welcome back to my beauty stash. Today we are going to be trying out another It Cosmetics foundation brush, and this is also a re-release, and this is the ever so popular Love is the Foundation brush. Now this little beauty right here is on its, correct me if I'm wrong, fifth or fourth year of release. And this little brush has been all over YouTube, has been all over Instagram for that entire time. You'll see a lot of your favorite bigger beauty influencers, they use this brush in their tutorials, and you can see it has a beautiful handle with hearts floating around. It just looks so pretty when they're swirling their foundation, buffing their foundation onto their skin. I know a lot of people, they collect these brushes, and with very good reason. This foundation brush is designed and created and sold in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, which is the month of October. I also want to mention, guys, that a portion of the proceeds of this Love is the Foundation brush go to benefit the Look Good, Feel Good organization. It is an organization that helps women in their fight with breast cancer. My mom is a breast cancer survivor. My aunt is a breast cancer survivor. So breast cancer, unfortunately, really hits close to home. And anytime that I can do something to increase the awareness, to further the research, to help women in their fight, I'm all for it. This little brush retails for $30 at Ulta Beauty, and it is the It Cosmetics for Ulta Beauty brush line. And you'll see, guys, it is in the shape of a heart, and it is the rounded version. I'm pointing that out for a reason, because last year's Love is the Foundation brush release, which I did review, and I'll have it linked up here so you guys can check it out, that was met with a lot of controversy. A lot of people were upset with that brush, and I'm going to be showing it to you guys later in the video, doing some comparisons with it. And that particular brush was a flat brush, whereas this one, you can clearly see it is rounded. Now, I didn't have any issues with that brush. I actually still enjoy using that foundation brush, but we're gonna be trying this version. And this is the one that everybody wants. This is the one that they say magically applies your foundation. And I am really anxious to try it out for you guys today. And I do have both of them. So I'll be able to compare the two versions, the 19 and the 20 version, along with the Star Multitasking brush, which I just reviewed yesterday on my channel. That video will be linked in the description box in case you haven't checked it out yet, but I'm gonna be comparing all three brushes for you guys. But right now, I wanna start with the demo of this brush and show you guys how it applies using two different types of foundation. We're also gonna use some cream bronzer, cream blush, concealer, and we're gonna put this little beauty to the test today. So if you wanna see the 2020 version of the It Cosmetics for Ulta Beauty Love is the Foundation brush in action, keep on watching. So for foundation today, I'm going to be trying two different consistencies, and the foundation I'm going to use, they're both going to be from the brand The Ordinary, and I recently reviewed these on my channel. I'll have it linked up above so you guys can check that out in case you missed it. But I'm going to go in with the Coverage Foundation, and then on the other side of my face, I'm going to go in with the Serum foundation. So the Serum is obviously going to be a little bit more watery of a consistency, whereas the Coverage is going to have a little bit of thickness to it. So let's start with the left side. The left side is where I'm going to go in with the Coverage. Feels nice and soft. Don't see that it's leaving any brush strokes behind. I think it's just buffing the foundation really nicely into the skin. All right, let me take a closer look. My nose looks good. Forehead looks pretty good. I don't see any brush strokes. Let me kind of just get what's left and stipple it. Okay, now let's jump over to the right side. And this is definitely a more thin formula for foundation. And usually with this type of formula, I like to use my fingers. But I want to see what this little brush can do. This is a more sheer coverage, obviously, in foundation than the one that's on the left. So if you're looking for a nice lightweight foundation, this is actually a good one, and it's less than $7. My nose is always the hardest place to do with a brush. I find that that's where the most brush strokes will be left, around there and like right around here, this area. All right, so that actually did a really good job of buffing the Serum foundation into the skin and not really leaving any major brush strokes behind. Again, my nose is always the hardest part, and since this is a Serum foundation, it's a very thin consistency. Kind of was expecting a little bit of brush strokes there, but this brush actually didn't do that bad of a job with it. Everywhere else, it looks really good, especially if you're going to be wearing thicker foundations or just average consistency foundations. I think this brush is going to work out very well for you. Let's try now applying concealer with it. And I also want to try some cream bronzer and cream blush the way I did with my with the Star multitasking brush that I uploaded yesterday, that video. And so let's see how this brush is going to perform. All right, so for concealer, I'm going to go in with one of my favorites at the moment, and this is the Milani Conceal and Perfect. Now, I don't really like using a brush for my concealer. I like to use a beauty blender. I just find that that works best for me and for the texture on my skin. My under eye area is always a problem area for me, and like right in here, that's where makeup can cake up on me, like upon application. This brush is soft, but it still has like a firmness to it. So I do see a little bit of brush strokes under my eye. Just gonna try and pat those out. All right, so that went on fairly well. I don't think I would necessarily use this brush again for concealer, just because my preferred method is a beauty blender. But I mean, if you had to, if that's all you had, then I guess it would be okay. Not my favorite though for concealer. Let's jump over to cream bronzer, and for that I'm going to be using the Fenty cream bronzer. This one is the Cheeks Out in Butter Biscuit. So I don't think it's picking up that much of the product, which is good. So you can slowly just build it on. But I also don't feel like it's spreading it out. Like it doesn't feel smooth, you know? It feels like it's a little tough to spread this out. Like I feel like I need to stipple it. Like this motion, the circular motion, to me it doesn't feel like, I feel some resistance there. All right, so I mean, it applied it well, but again, it feels a little tough to maneuver the product. So I don't know that I would use it again for cream bronzer, at least with this one, the Fenty one, just because I feel like, I don't know. And it's not like moving the foundation or anything, which is great. It also doesn't feel easy to blend, if that makes sense. Now let's go in with some cream blush. And again, I'm going to use another one from Fenty. This is the shade Crush on Cupid. So it really does help to deposit a softer wash of color rather than, bam, like in your face color, which I guess is great because you can just slowly build up to what you need and what you want as far as pigmentation goes. I actually think it's doing a much better job with the blush than it did with the bronzer. Now I usually apply this or any cream blush with a stippling brush, which, do I have one here? I do. So this is a stipple brush. You can see it has those little spikes at the top versus this one that's flat or rounded and flat. But this I really love for especially these Fenty products. All right, so I mean, it blended it out just fine. I don't have any brush marks from it. It looks good. It looks pretty smooth. It didn't lift up the foundation. I am going to finish up the rest of my makeup and then I will give you guys my final thoughts on the 2020 version It Cosmetics Love is the guys, I think the whole aesthetic of the brush is very visually pleasing. I mean, I think I could do this all day long, but I love the handle and it does have the name of the brush right there along with the It Cosmetics Ulta Beauty logo there. The bristles are very soft, but there is a firmness to them. So in comparing this to, let's say, the Star Multitasking brush, which I reviewed yesterday, I feel like these bristles are just a little bit softer, a little more pliable than the ones that are on the Love is the Foundation brush. This is more densely packed. Also, of course, the shapes are very different. You can see that it does have that those rounded bristles at the top, whereas the 2019 version, and let me compare them side by side, you can clearly see that this one is a flat brush, whereas this one is a more rounded brush. Now, you might be saying, well, what's the difference? What's it gonna do? Well, when you have a more flat top brush like this, you can really stipple the foundation on a little bit better. You can really stipple the concealer or whatever product it is that you really kind of just want to pack on and focus on a specific area. Now, some people prefer to use a flat top brush. They feel that this provides better coverage. It just, you know, allows the foundation to really maybe go a little farther, whereas a more rounded type of brush is easier to really buff into the skin. You really work the foundation or the product, whatever it is that you're using, you really work it into the skin to where it becomes one with the skin. Personally, guys, I don't really see a major difference between these two brushes. Now, of course, like the handle is different. This one doesn't have the glitter, the 2019, whereas this one does, the 2020 version. But as far as foundation application, I thought that they both did a great job. And let me just go back to this one because this is the one that you guys are all here for. For foundation, I thought that this one did a really great job. And you saw where I tried it with a thicker consistency versus a more serum, watery type of consistency, where I normally don't use a brush for those watery type of foundations. I like to use my fingertips. I did not use a stick foundation the way I did in yesterday's video with the Star brush, just because I know that this brush is going to work for a stick foundation formula. So if you prefer to use a stick foundation, if that's what you like to use, you're not gonna have problems using this brush if you pick it up. Where I did not like this brush was when I was applying the concealer. Yes, it applied it well, but I felt like I had a little bit of brush strokes and I wasn't totally impressed with how it made my under eye area look. So I would not go in with this for concealer unless I was just going to like pat the concealer in right here on my problem areas. I might do that, but even then, not too sure. I don't know that this is the best brush to stipple with. I like this for the ease of blendability with the foundation for buffing things in, but when it came to applying like the bronzer, for example, I felt like I couldn't glide it onto the skin. Whereas normally, like with this brush that I reviewed yesterday, the Star one, it did a great job blending out my cream bronzer and cream blush. So this one glided a little bit more easily over the skin versus this one. Now for cream blush, I did like the way this applied it, and it doesn't deposit a heavy amount of color either. It lets you build up to your desired amount of pigmentation. And that's another thing that I did like about this. Now, going forward, am I going to be reaching for this as a full face, like one and done type of tool? Probably not. Am I going to be reaching for it to apply my foundation? Probably yes. I really did like the way it applied both of the foundations. It did a great job with that. But for other products, I'm gonna stop it there. I'm just gonna solely reserve this for foundation use. So while I think, you know, it's a beautiful brush, it's a great brush, I just feel, for me personally, my skin type, my skin concerns, my skin texture, I thought that the 2019 version did a little bit better of a job as far as, you know, being able to spread things out a little easier on my skin. I really did like this one, and I know I'm in the minority on that because a lot of people hated this brush. And for me, this was my very first Love is the Foundation brush purchase. Again, I didn't have anything to compare it to. Like, it worked for me. I liked it. It did a great job. It didn't leave any brush strokes. So I think if you're happy with your 2019 brush and if it's still in good shape, keep going with it. But if you like to collect the brushes, and by all means, I encourage you to collect the brushes because they all go back to help support women fighting the breast cancer fight, then of course, pick it up. It's $30. A portion of the proceeds do go to benefit breast cancer awareness and the women fighting that battle. If for no reason, purchase it for that alone. But if you're a fan of IT Cosmetics brushes, which who isn't, right? Because they make some gorgeous brushes, I would just use this mainly for your foundation. I don't think it is a multitasking brush the way the Star brush is. Now, if you wanted to get something that you could do a full face with, I really love this one. And this was my first purchase of one of these Star multitasking brushes. For me, again, the bristles are just a little bit more pliable, equally as soft, but I thought it just spread the product out easier, and all types of products. And because it is a star shape, it really lets you get into the crevices of your face, under your eye. Those little points, you'd be surprised at how well you can, you know, maneuver the product in there. So really enjoyed this brush. Really enjoyed the 2019 version, which you can't get this one anymore. And I do love the 2020 version. It's just that this is just going to be for foundation. So those are my thoughts, guys, on the new 2020 version of the IT Cosmetics for Ulta Beauty Love is the Foundation brush. What do you think about this brush? What are your thoughts on past brushes? Leave it all in the comments down below because I'd really love to hear from you guys regarding these brushes. This is only my second experience buying one of these brushes, and I know some of you out there, you collect all of them, so I'd love to hear your thoughts on years past to present day brush. So guys, if you've made it this far into the video, I have a special announcement for you. I'm going to give one of you out there the opportunity to win the 2020 version of the IT Cosmetics for Ulta Beauty Love is the Foundation brush. All of the rules to enter this giveaway, which starts right now, will be listed in the description box below. Make sure you follow all the rules, guys. On October 1st, Thursday, October 1st at 7 p.m. CST, I will notify one lucky winner through Instagram DM. Make sure if you do enter, you are checking your Instagram DMs on Thursday, October 1st, around 7 p.m. because that's when a random winner will be chosen. So guys, that is all I have for you today. I want to thank you all so much for watching another one of my videos. You all have a great day or night, or it is you all are at. Stay hydrated, guys. Drink your water. And I will see you all very soon. Bye.